the valuable opportunity to interact the academic community.
Good evening, everyone.
Sorry for delay. So it is
Yeah,
sir,
yes, ma'am.
sir, once again,
Yes,
sir.
ma'am. Please, ma'am.
It is
Please.
my privilege to introduce today's distinguished chief guest, Dr. P. Johnson Raj, renowned academician, researcher, and entrepreneur in the field of computer science. Dr. P. Johnson Raj holds an master's degree and has awarded PhD in computer science from Bardiyar University, Coimbatore. He is currently serving as the director of Postulate Info Tech Private Limited, an organization that began as a single person startup in 2014 and has now grown into a private limited company with multiple branches across Thoothukudi, Tirunelveli, and Coimbatore, serving clients from India, USA, Canada, and Oman. He has rich experience in software architecture, cloud server administration, web and mobile application development, and public cloud technologies. His professional journey reflects a perfect blend of industry expertise and academic excellence. Dr. Johnson Raj has also made a significant contribution to research. He has served as JRF under DRDO and Senior Research Fellow under DST Government of India. He is a journal reviewer for leading SCA journals and has published numerous research articles in reputed international journals in the area of AI, machine learning, data mining, computer vision, and remote sensing. In addition to his research achievement, he has conducted and delivered more than 330 workshops and seminars, chaired academic sessions, delivered guest lectures, and actively contributed to NAC and NBA accreditation process at institutional and department level. A passionate educator and mentor, Dr. Johnson Duraraj is known for his strong communication skill, leadership qualities, and commitment to transforming knowledge into real world solutions. We are indeed honored to have such an eminent personality amid us today. So I warmly invite Dr. P. Johnson Duraraj to deliver the chief guest and enlighten with his valuable insight. Thank you, sir. Once again, welcome you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Thanks for your introduction. And first of all, I would like to thank SRM Engineering College to provide me the opportunity to share my knowledge, expertise, and experience with you people. So really, it is a great pleasure to become a teacher for teachers, right? So you are all the eminent teachers. You are all providing so many, right, experiences and ideas, knowledge to your students. I'm also doing a lot of training related programs, but it is my privilege, it is my happiness to share my personal experience and my industry related knowledge to you people, right? When I was asked to choose the topic, right, I actively chosen this particular topic. Why? Because it is a topic related to deployment, right? So actually, the deployment is the very toughest part in the software development life cycle scenario. But I just chosen this topic. Why? Because it is a topic which can be given to the participants only by who have the real experience or real exposure related to deployment scenario. So regarding Postulate, which was started by myself as a single man company in the year 2014, but now it has spreaded all around Tamil Nadu in Coimbatore and Tirunelveli, we have two branches. In Thoothukudi, we have head office. So we have active engineers, around 20 members in our team. We have launched so many applications, right, to our clients, college ERP systems, mobile apps to the finance concerns, and so many things related to the ERP in enterprise level organizations, right? So, related to the topic, deployment of machine learning implementations, right? So, MLOps is nothing but our DevOps, but more precisely, the organizing team segregated the things into LLM, right? So, personally, I have so much of experience in DevOps. Why? Because myself alone own my own dedicated server in my office, right? And further, we have plenty of cloud level deployments, and also we have experimented on so many machine learning and deep learning related projects. Beyond the implementation of the project, right, the deployment should have so much of hurdles. Why? Because in model development, we always focus on accuracy, right? So if the model is trained with appropriate data set with fine-tuned hyperparameter, then it will be the model which will work best. But according to the deployment, when it has to be available for the users in real world, right, we have to consider so many parameters. We have to consider so many things, right? So definitely you people will have nice upcoming session from myself. Please remember, kindly make a note, right? Most of the time you may be heard, you will have some of the new terminologies in this particular area. So please write down something or scribble down something related to the present conversation. Whether you will recall those things again or not, at present, please, my sincere request, you just scribble something. Then only that particular terminologies will be memorized in your memory, so that you can deliver to your students. You are all know what is deployment. You are all know what is DevOps or DevOps related technologies. I don't want to get into the hardcore theoretical part. I have personally now prepared, today only I just prepared one simple demonstration which actively having one particular middleware which is long chain, right, according to our today's topic. And according to the today's topic, fast API framework has to be implemented, so that in that particular demo itself, I have developed one small application which will invoke our OpenAI open access API through fast API, right? But in which, right, we have to include some middleware that is nothing but our long chain. So you don't worry, I will explain everything in architectural manner, and I will demonstrate all those things in terms of my development laptop. Okay. Listen to the then get into the topic. LLM deployment. Large language models are nothing but our, right, generative models and text-based models, right? In the deployment of large language models, right, we have so much of things to consider, right? Why? Because as of now, who is the director of Pasclate Infotech Private Limited? As of now, myself, right? In certain uh, duration, the answer is always right. But after that, definitely this position will be occupied by somebody, right? I'm not going to be the person who will be owning this company right, throughout the future, right? I still have some lifetime and I will retire from this position, or else I maybe change my career or whatever it is, right? So remember that language model has to, right, dynamically update itself. But remember, if you provide that recurring training mechanism to the public, remember, if you provide, so you basically, I think you are all from Tamil Nadu only, right? Is there anybody here who don't know Tamil? Please put thumbs up. கொஞ்சம் முக்கியமான டெர்மினாலஜிஸ் தமிழா பேசினா நல்லா இருக்கும்னு நினைக்கிறேன். Is there anybody here who don't know Tamil?
Sir, many peoples from other states, sir.
Oh, okay. Then no issue.
Yeah, yes.
So remember, according to the LLM dynamic training or retraining or recurrent training, whatever it is, right? So we have to update that LLM, right, over a period based on the new context. Who is the Prime Minister of India? Narendra Modi. As of now, Narendra Modi. Who is the Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu? M.K. Stalin. But over a period after election, it may be changed or it may not be changed. But that contextual future has to be embedded this particular LLM. If suppose this retraining process is based on prompt, okay, if you are, right, having such dynamic learning progress, right, dynamic learning progress through your prompt, remember, some set of people may change the LLM's behavior, right? If suppose the LLM is learning from the prompt, remember, anybody can easily break the LLM's knowledge base. Why? Because I can easily teach, yes, who is the director of Fastlet? Dr. A. Mutturaj. If suppose it is telling Dr. P. Johnson, then we can prompt again. No. At present, Dr. A. Mutturaj is the director of Fastlet. Then that particular dynamic learning, okay, dynamic learning process will update this LLM based on this particular prompt. After that, some extent, if anybody other having that kind of question, it will answer Dr. A. Mutturaj is there. So it is not to be the right way of dynamic learning. So we have to screen, we have to mask, we have to limit that particular dynamic learning process. It is the first required thing in between this particular middleware, which is nothing but our long chain. Okay, that is what the middleware we have. So really it has some screening process, or really it has some of the right intermediary orchestration process. That will be the exact name, that will be the exact terminology. So that middleware process, that particular intermediate process will facilitate, right, some kind of, right, screening, some kind of importance based learning, or some kind of prompt chaining process, right? So you have developed LLM with you. Yes, that is a model. That LLM is in, right, some service based architecture, which means, remember, your LLM is a function. If you need some output, you can pass the input as parameter. That function will provide appropriate output. So our prompt will be the input, that result will be the output. Yes, this particular service has to be made available to the users as an endpoint. That particular thing is made up of Fast API. So Fast API is the framework, Python-based framework, which will provide, right, the connections between all these, right, endpoints, and really it is providing the opportunity to make your LLM as an endpoint. So that is what the platform, right? So you are going to provide some input to your LLM. That chaining process, this entire, right, communication process is made up of API call, which is platformed by Fast API framework. So remember, according to our topic, deployment and MLF for LLM, right? Using long chain and Fast API. Fast API is the framework in which you can implement your project. That project will provide to develop some endpoints. In that endpoint, you can invoke your LLM models, right? Your LLM is completely different, right? You can develop your LLM in terms of encoder-decoder architecture transformer, or else encoder architecture transformer, or else recurrent neural network based transformers. So whatever it is, there are so much of transformers are there. So whatever that transformer it may be, it will be available to the end user as an endpoint. That particular availability is only provided by Fast API. So the Fast API is the mechanism to interconnect all these endpoints, all these components, right, as a communicative entities. So remember, our MLOps is not an DevOps. Why? Because if you provide, right, if you have some developed app, okay, some developed app, it has so many endpoints, it has so many um, services, or it has so many things or functionalities, right, that is to be invoked by APIs, right? So these API calls will invoke certain functionalities in that app, okay. That app or that backend or that particular thing in turn may be collected with the data source or data set or databases and provide the response as an, so that API maybe get or set method, right, or get or set or post method, right? So this particular API types will invoke backend app. That app may be interconnected with data source or not, but that response will be query response or post response or get response. So your response JSON will be the right result from which you can render that result in your front end as a end user result, right? So remember, in that situation, if it is a version 1 app, right, you don't want to update this app until and otherwise you don't have any such new requirements. Up to that, you don't want to touch that particular app. It will work based on the list of functionalities you have already developed. So it will keep on working based on that functionality. You will always receive the respective results. Remember, if you have some app, that app is nothing but your LLM model, right? So this model, right, this model has some of the limitation. What kind of limitation? Its result or its future, right, directions should not be drift. it should be keep on evolve. So it's knowledge base, it's accuracy. So LM is not only based on providing accurate result, it has to be made up of some kind of, right, contextual meaningful results, right? So over a period it has to be updated. So for that updation process, if you have some static mechanism here, that static mechanism may be the danger zone for this particular LLM dynamic updation process or dynamic training process. Why? Because that particular static training process alone will not provide the right contextual updations, evolutions, right? Why? Because it has some again driftness. So we have to dynamically control this particular dynamic learning process so that we have one middle layer. That middle layer is nothing but our what? Long chain. Sir, what exactly available in long chain, sir? Okay, let me get into the slides. Okay, so LLM deployment is a long. It is not a simple deployment. Why? Because it is somewhat different from our normal deployment. But exactly the different normal deployment, continuous integration, which means if you push your code at the production Git directory, then it has to be made made live to the users. So that is what continuous integration. So these are all the things which are all right based on some staticness. But in case of right LLM models, it should not be right, and it should not be remain always accurate. It should be evolve, right? So that kind of evolution, that kind of versions can be tracked by these kind of what kind of long chain kind of middlewares. So here that kind of things are not presented, but here you have reliability. So that reliability, more specifically related to LLM, it is based on present context, present world scenario based, right? So that can be fine tuned, that can be altered based on these kind of middleware. So Fast API is the web development framework. Okay. So you have certain technologies in your deployment scenario. Those technologies are providing some added advantages. Here we have some of the limitations, some of the things needs to be considered. Why? Because it is an LLM model. So we just right incorporating long chain as the drift control tool or prompt chain tool, right? I will going to explain all those things in terms of demonstrations, right? So these are all the challenges, right? As I told earlier, model should not be right drift, right? And data privacy concern, right? If the model is learning based on the prompt given by user, anybody in this world can easily update the knowledge of that model through prompting, right? So it should not be occurred. So that we should consider these kind of middle layers. Okay. So what are the roles of long chain? Okay. Long chain helps to build applications, prompt management, chaining, and memory. Okay. It enables integration with tools, APIs, and databases for context-aware system. So this is what the thing I have explained earlier. Okay. So this is what the exact role of the long chain. What is the role of Fast API? Fast API is the web development framework, right? Through fast API, you can deploy your normal applications also, not only LLM based, not only machine learning based, right? You can deploy so much of things in terms of web applications using fast API. So fast API is a simple, right, web development framework. That's it. But in terms of interconnecting all these components, right, fast API is the reliable framework which ensures, right, some kind of MLOps based deployments. Okay. So according to this particular architecture, right, remember, as a user, you always recurring your requested output in terms of API request. So that API request is based on get or post, right? So these get or post methods are to be invoked based on fast API server. Why? Because fast API is the backend, fast API is the framework, fast API is the mechanism working behind all the applications, right? But not only fast API applications, right? The world famous Django also the API based Flask. So many of right frameworks are there, right? Remember, there is a middleware. That middleware working as a orchestration layer, middleware layer, or some controlling layer, which in turn connecting the LLM, right? That LLM's result is going to be provided to the backend, so that backend result will be given back to the response for the request. So remember, this particular long chain acting major role in this particular architecture. Why? Because it has some kind of ability to screen or ability to monitor or ability to modular, right? So much of things. Why? Because remember, you can have so much of LLM there, right? This long chain, right? As a free user, Chat GPT 2.1 or something, right? So that particular navigations, right? If I'm a premium user, it may allow me to invoke this particular model. If suppose I'm a that tariff level user, so it can navigate or it can, right, act as a middleware, so that based on your reliability, modularity, scalability, right, maintainability, you can set up this particular orchestration process, so that you people will have that kind of, right, easy deployment scenario, right? Or otherwise, remember, a very large model, open AI has very large model, right? If they keep on updating one model and again model, and so that one model is alone the model, if they have, they cannot navigate the users based on their what subscription, right? Free user can access that one particular model, so and some other users can particular. So this particular long chain orchestration, I'm explaining only one example related to tariff. But this long chain orchestration layer can make so many maintainability or so many scalability works, right? So as a conclusion, if you are going to deploy one machine learning application, it is not a simple deployment. Why? Because you should consider your AI, your machine learning model, or your deployed AI engine, right, as an engine which will provide, right, which has to provide some sequential evolutionary learning based output. It should not be the model which should not give always accurate result, right? Some of the time over a period, right, that same result may be treated as wrong result. So that kind of evolutionary process, and some of the time, right, lot of models has to be deployed and lot of things has to be deployed, and some of the orchestration or maintaining factors has to be inserted in between the flow. So these are the things making our normal deployment into a machine learning deployment. So your normal deployment situations are not like that. Normal deployment situation is nothing but our normal app development deployments. If you provide your front end to the Google Play Store, then they will provide the build made to the public, so that that particular front end can be invoked or installed as an app, so that any people can install that particular front end into their mobile, and they can make some of the API calls to the backend. That backend can access to the database, and it will be having so many business logic. If it is a framework, if it is a setup, it is always remain same until and otherwise you will have some new version of the software. But according to the machine learning, it should be dynamic. According to the machine learning, it should be somewhat contextual basis. More specifically, according to the LLM, it has to be somewhat, right, reliable, scalable, contextual based, right? So that things are attained only by some of the extra tools or some of the extra technologies, which is nothing but our lang chain, LANG chain, right? So lang chain act as a um, middleware. It has some kind of functionalities, right, from which you people can implement some of the things, right? So let me get into the things. Please, ma'am, I need to access from my deployment laptop. Somebody may think that, sir, it is a hard core explanation. So please, I don't want to get into the entire stuff, right? As a professors, you may know more and more about lot of frameworks and lot of fundamentals, right? I don't want to get into that. I just going to give you the key points where actually that entire we have discussed one thing, right, in our deployment scenario, right, in our deployment scenario, we have Fast API as a deployment tool. And then we have long chain as a middleware, which is going to facilitate some reliability related context, right? And further, how actually these entire things are happened in the context related to LLM, right? So these are the things we are going to be executed, right? Remember, uh, how many of you known with Fast API framework? Maybe your students may done some of the projects in Fast API. Most of the people you may know about what um, Django, Flask, and so many things, right? Tkinter framework. In those are all the frameworks which are in Python, right? This is also a framework, backend framework, web development framework, which can be right deploy some applications, web applications through Python, right? So this is a folder structure of this particular what framework, in which in our main.py we have so many endpoints. What do you mean by endpoint? Endpoint is nothing but in which particular URL you are going to invoke your project or invoke your service, right? There are so many endpoints, right? So we have first deployed this entire project, right? Deployed this entire project with the help of Fast API, and we have made this particular long chain, right, as a middleware in order to invoke OpenAI, right, APIs. So OpenAI is providing some kind of free API for the demo purpose. I just utilized that particular API, LLM's API, in our web application, right? This particular OpenAI LLM's, right, service to be integrated with our web application with the help of this particular long chain OpenAI middleware. So this particular class or this particular module is going to be acted as, right, some manager or some, right, facilitator in between our application and OpenAI LLM's endpoint. But in order to invoke this particular API functionality, I should prepare one particular endpoint. From that endpoint only, I can easily invoke, right, some of the things, right? So here I have prepared so many endpoints, right? We are going to just discuss about only one main endpoint, which is our api.v1.chat. So this particular chat endpoint is an endpoint which will going to provide, right? Which will going to provide some kind of operations, right? So that in which you can put some message as a prompt. That particular message is going to be received by long chain. After that, long chain will facilitate the connection between ourselves, our endpoints API request, from that request to that particular OpenAI's API. So that connection is established only when that particular long chains mechanism is allowed to make connection, or it is going to be the facilitator. That's it. So it always, right, monitor, or it always screen your process in terms of right, in terms of some kind of some screening mechanism it has. You as a right LLM deployment engineer, you can make some kind of alterations in that particular screening process, right? So remember, so here we have so many things, right? I don't want to get into the in detail hard code core detailed process, right? But remember, this is what the endpoint, right, I have created. It can be accessed through post request from any such front end. So this particular endpoint is created by Fast API. So Fast API is the development framework in which we have utilized long chain. So I can make some kind of right things so that you people can understand, right? So remember, I just invoked. I already run the project through bat file only. I have executed the project, right? So this particular execution, right? Remember, so that here only we can understand what API is calling right now and what kind of responses are generated, so that you can monitor the log here, right? This is what the actual console, right? In that console, you can monitor what are all the things are called and what are all the responses are received, right? So remember, this is the health check. Health check is a very large mechanism in the API providing frameworks like development frameworks. So in this health check, I can visualize so many endpoints which are all provided by that particular entire project. So I can create some of the endpoints. What are the endpoints I have created? Yes, first, get health check, get health liveliness, health ready, chat. This is what the actual chatbot endpoint, right, which we have created, and batch post request batch as a batch. Here also you can test that particular endpoint with the help of simple results, right? I think I may have some issues. Okay, cancel. Try now. So here you can put some. Remember, I'm not going to prepare one window here, right? I'm not going to invoke that particular API through the window like ChatGPT, right? ChatGPT has one window in which one text box, in which one button. After you type something, after you click that button, that click will trigger this particular function call. That function call can be tested with the help of this particular health check page. So here you can to execute something, right? Chat response. This particular API is called response body. Successful response in which you will have hello, I am demo LLM. So this particular response has received from right OpenAI API. So we have one API which is nothing but V1 chat. This is what our API endpoint, right? OpenAI itself has its own API. How you have contacted that API, sir? Right? I have configured that particular API with the help of this particular env file, right? So I just invoked OpenAI API access key from one demo account, and I just pasted. So through that particular call, right? In what line it will be called? Remember model.invoke on particular line. Yes, this particular invoke will invoke the chat model. In that chat model, we have instantiated that particular object with the help of OpenAI object. So that particular response is based on the message which we have given. That message is based on, right? That message is based on some system message and human message function based results, right? We are not going to append the entire message directly, right? Here we just invoked that particular given message with the help of system message. What is system message? That system message or human message is the thing, right, which is from long chain. Sir, what actually happened in that human message or system message, sir, right? You have some filtering mechanism. You can access that particular input and output prompts. That chain can be maintained by some middleware. Sir, what exactly the filters or what exactly the process actually happening here? Inge enna nadakudhu? So it is very simple. It is, right, comparing two messages. We are not getting to the configuration part of that particular long chain, right? We are not configured anything. We just invoke two messages, right? From that two messages, right, we just develop one context. That particular context, okay, chat context. No, here only, right? That particular context, here message, chat model dot invoke message. Before that, right, we just appended two messages in the message queue. These two messages going to be the input to the model. So remember, your LLM is not based on your single prompt. Your LLM is actually based on two contexts. One, your human input level context, and second one, system level context. What exactly the system level context are, which may be another LLM. So that LLM is going to be, right, monitor or going to be screen some kind of drift. What do you mean by drift? If suppose you are proposing something to some institution, right? Initially, your technical skill will be assessed by some technical expert. Your HR related questions will be asked by HR managers, right? Your background will be verified by some kind of legal experts. So remember, so your LLM is not a static entity, right? It has to be made available to the public with these kind of screenings, these kind of limitations, these kind of reliability. So remember, here you have sent chat model dot invoke to be parameterized by messages. That messages has two appended context. First context, system message. Second context. Sir, actually, what exactly the system prompt, sir? Yes, you have given two things. So remember, these kind of alterations can be done only by, right? So you can make any kind of filterings, any kind of things, okay, right? Human messages has some kind of contextual awareness, right? System message will going to have some kind of contextual awareness. So remember, you can make these kind of orchestration according to your need, right? So remember, whenever you are going to meet principal, right, you have to get appointment. So that appointments can be followed by, appointments to be managed by principal's secretary, right? So his personal secretary will manage all those things, right? So remember, in your MLR, you can make these kind of things, right? Okay, sir. So let me get into the output part, right? So it has, hello, I am demo LLM, right? Demo mode is the model that OpenAI providing to us, right? So remember, if you have some mechanism to display this particular output into your screen, like ChatGPT, then it will be like a chatbot. But remember, this prompt, right, is not only directly getting to the invoke process, but actually it is going to be contextually aware based on some what our middleware, and after that only it has get into the original invoke process, right? So remember, this is what the two exact function calls, which has some right thing, something before getting to the actual invoke process. So this is the two messages that can be, right, implemented through long chain. So actually, I have deployed these things into a simple chat application. Yeah, in here you can directly call the yes. I think it is working fine. Remember, for the first time, OpenAI is always allowing us to made single token request. What do you mean by token? The list of things available in our prompt, right? So if you broke down your prompt, you will be end up with list of tokens. Tokens in the sense individual words, punctuations, and so many things related to language context, right? According to Tamil, something to be considered as a token, but according to English, something to be considered as token. Why? Because every language has its own, right, embedding power, right? I don't want to get into the what detailed LLM word embedding process, right? You may be always aware about word embedding and so many things related to LLM training process, right? So here I can say hi, the same prompt to be released from the things, right? Here I just developed one HTML page in which at this button click, I just invoked this particular endpoint. That particular endpoint has provided some result. That result is here shown as a simple output. So here it is actually a application, but actually this is what the original API deployment level context. Okay, sir. Can you explain? So here you have some local server in which you have your fast API. In that fast API, you have implemented these endpoints, and you can execute all those things. right? And with the help of some local file, you have invoked that particular endpoint. That particular endpoint in turn invoked OpenAI API. That API invoke process not only direct, it is having some limitation which is based on long chain. That long chain has some message context aware mechanism. We don't want to that particular middleware level mechanism, right? Why? Because you just understand in DevOps, right? You will have front end, back end database. In back end, you will have so many kind of architectural level, right? Endpoints. That's it. But here, in your endpoint, right? In your endpoint, you may have to have these kind of considerations. Why? Because your LLM is always based on some context aware evolution. It has to be evoluted, it has to be updated, but we cannot directly update the things on the go, right? We have to filter out. So this filtering, this reliability maintaining process, and this kind of driftness can be right managed by our long chain. So please, um, I can explain about more in detail about in my laptop related to the things, right? And at the last, I'm going to deliver some of the things which will be really interesting, right? So where actually the long chain, sir? It is a package. It is a library. It is a predefined module or class. It has so much of things, right? In long chain, I have OpenAI package. In that package, I have two functions, right? Manual or a human message or something, right? If you get into that documentation, you can have what exactly that function is giving. Your function is giving that middleware or orchestration process, right? But remember, long chain alone has these kind of packages. So it has so many, right? RAG process. So long chain is one of the orchestration method. In one method alone, you are having these kind of things. So remember, there are so many other alternatives are also there. We people are now studying these kind of things as a reference. But remember, in US, students are making, right? Remember, this particular OpenAI long chain library is not developed by OpenAI. It is developed by Longchain. Longchain has so many teams in which some of the masters, some of the research scholars are developing these kind of libraries. So we people are mm, treating our students in order to implement some of the business logic by using these kind of frameworks. But they are all making frameworks. We are cooking food, right, through ingredients, but they are making ingredients. So remember, we are all the knowledge source. We are all the right source of knowledge. We have to make our students to think like that. And moreover, Fast API is the API framework which is publicly available, free open framework, right? So web framework, why they are providing these entire such frameworks? at free of cost. Why? Because these are all the things are developed by some of the developers, some of the community, which was funded by some funded projects. So here we have some of the funded projects with us. We used to implement something according to our business logic methodology, but they are making implementation tool, right? So technology level understanding, right, is not enough. Making use the technology also not enough, right? Inventing new technology is the right way to motivate our students. So remember, fast API is one of the way to build web applications, right? It's a web application. Remember, there are so many ways. There are so many ways you can build these API web frameworks. Flask, Django, and Sparklight, Bulldozer. There are so many things in Python alone, right? So, in our deployment, our architectural framework will going to have so many layers. Each and every layer is based on some technology. That particular technologies are invoked some specific purpose. There are so many other alternatives in that particular area, and remember, all together it is going to be deployed as a, here I just deployed, right, in that deployment system I just deployed everything in simple command prompt. That's it. It will act as a server program. Server. So you people don't remember server as a some very big machine. Server is a process, right? So that computer alone, I just made some server process and some client process. In that client process, I just given some message and click some send action. Then it has invoked some API call to this particular server. That particular server is going to call some OpenAI's API. This process, if suppose, is made up of some external very large scale server for very large users, then that is what our production process, right? So remember, if you really need, right, some specific knowledge and specific real-time experience, sir, can you share how you will containerize all these things, right? I'm ready to share my real-time experience, right? I cannot now show you my own server here, right? If you are willing, right, if you are ready to visit our office, right, I can give you the right understanding about all these things, right? In postulate, we are always using Django as a framework, backend framework. In front end, we have so many front end frameworks, right? Front end HTML, CSS, but we people are using Angular, React, Ionic, right? So many things, right? So remember, if you understood the life cycle of your web application, you have to be made available each and every layer in that particular position of your DevOps environment. In normal DevOps, each and everything can be placed according to its connection. But in our ML app, we need to consider these kind of right things. Why? Because we are always dealing with machine learning related algorithms and models, so that one extra technology has evolved. That is what long chain. Fast API is not for machine learning. It is for web framework, web applications. But long chain is specifically for what? Machine learning. So you just go through all the entire packages available in long chain is made for right AI related. So Azure AI, right, is the library long chain. Azure AI is going to be act as a middleware in between Azure related API calls. Azure providing so many things, right? Hugging Base also there, right? Where is Hugging Base? Yes. What do you mean by Hugging Base? Hugging Base has a lot of predefined models, defined or pre-trained models. What that is what the exact word, right? You can invoke any such model in the Hugging Face through long chain orchestration. This long chain orchestration can be act as a middleware so that you people can manage so many things, right? So from my experience in the short span of time, I just explained something, but it is not a simple topic to discuss in some 1.5 to 2 hours time. It is a very large thing, right? But I believe, right? I just demonstrated the things related to long chain, and I just demonstrated the things related to web applications, right? Any questions, any feedbacks you can share. Anything, right? If you ask some in detailed questions, I can answer. But
Dear participants, you can raise your doubts, please. Kindly raise your doubts in chat box also, please.
I'm ready to answer any questions, right? Any questions related to this particular area.
Dear participants, please raise your question.
If you are all intended to learn what exactly the deployment, what exactly the process behind that, you can contact our department. They will made arrange that kind of right demo. Why? Because in 2 days before we have launched our not newly launched. We have deployed our Pastelate app in Play Store recent version. Right, we are going to conduct some
Yeah, thank
massive
you, sir.
exams. Yes, ma'am. Okay, thank you so much. Very nice.
Yeah, thank you, sir. So very nice session, sir. We are really grateful, sir. Thank you so much. Uh, so next we move on validatory functions, sir. Hachodi,
Okay,
sir.
ma'am. Thank you for your.
Sir, please wait, sir. Please wait. Our principal and uh,
Madam,
our VP,
VP
sir,
and
will join, sir. Please.
informed madam. Informed madam. Both VP and principal is joined within a minute.
Yeah, okay, sir.
Sir Johnson sir,
And sir,
close your presentation sir.
Ah. Yeah, is this one is visible, sir?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, sir. As we reach the concluding session of the 6 days faculty development program on data science for large language models and generative system, organized by the Department of Computer Science and Engineering, SRM Engineering College. It gives me immense pleasure to present the valedictory address. Over the past 6 days, the FDP has been enriched and intellectually simulating journey. So, we thank our respected chairman, sir, and so we given a more support for the FDP session, and then we thank our the vice chancellor, sir, and Dean Academics, sir, Dr. Vairavil, sir, and this Dean Research, sir, Dr. R. Krishnamurthy, and our principal, sir. He given a
Madam,
more support.
excuse me, madam. Madam,
Yes, yes, sir.
one small desktop view is above your presentation.
Ah, yes, sir.
Please.
Finally, I'll give you, sir.
No, ma'am.
Yeah.
No,
No,
ma'am.
ma'am. Please close the window,
இல்ல,
ma'am.
அது ஒரு சின்ன இது தெரியுது மேடம் உங்க டெஸ்க்டாப் ஸ்கிரீன்ல. அது தள்ளி
Please
போச்சு.
close the
Ah,
window.
Now okay,
okay,
madam.
okay,
Okay.
okay, okay, fine. So, I sincerely thanks to our chairman, sir. So, throughout SRM group of institution, Chennai and Ramapuram campus, uh, and then Dr. Samir Khan, sir, Pro Vice Chancellor and Academic Leader for SRM Trichy campus, and Dr. G. Vairavil, sir, Dean Academics and Education Institute Initiatives in SRM Trichy and Ramapuram campus, and Dr. R. Krishnamurthy, sir, Dean Research through SRM overall Trichy campus, and sincerely thanks to our principal, Dr. Shivakumar, sir. Whole of the full support he given a lot of support, sir. And Dr. Ramesh Kannan, sir, Vice Principal at TRP Engineering College. Okay. And Dr. Sudhakaran, sir, Professor and Head of SRM TRP Engineering College. So in starting days and end of the day, he is fully supported, sir. He is fully supported, sir. So next we go for the FTP highlights, sir. Okay. So FTP highlights are as we over the past 6 days, the FTP has been enriching and intellectually simulating journey, offering deep insights to cutting edge areas of data science, LLM, and generative systems. So from various academician and industry professionals. So in FDP highlights means in 150 participants were participated in this FTP, including faculty members, research scholar, and industry experts in various institutions across the multiple states like AP, Hyderabad, Maharashtra, Delhi, Patna, Gwalior. So around 65 institution, uh, around 40 institution including Tamil Nadu, like MIT Anna University Chennai campus, VIT Vellore, NIT Trichy, Vailtech Chennai. So more number of Karanya University from Coimbatore, more number of institution were participated, were institution and participants were participated in this FTP. So around the 6 days of this FTP, day one is core data science techniques for LLM using Hugging Face and NLP libraries. And our resource person is Mr. Raghavi Sindhu. And day two is data engineering and training pipelines for LLM. And our resource person is Dr. A. Muthra, sir. And day three, fine tuning and adaptation of LLM. Resource person is Dr. Perumal Raja, sir. And day four, building generative image system using stable diffusion and open clip. So day five, evaluation, explainability, and responsible LLM, and my HOD, Dr. P. Sudharan, sir. And day six is deployment and MLOps from LLM, application using LangChain and Fast API. Resource person is Dr. P. Johnson Durairaj, sir. Each session will thoughtfully tutor and delivered with clarity, blending theoretically foundation with the practical insights and real world application. The knowledge shared during this program will undoubtedly help participants strengthen their teaching, research, and industry practices. This FTP witnessed an excellent response with around 150 participants. I take this opportunity to express our heartfelt gratitude to all the resource person for their valuable time and expert contribution. I also thank the chief guest organizing committee, Ms. M. Subhastri ma'am and Dr. A. Mutra sir. So, in the no, not only in the thank you to the Mutra sir. So he given a make a very much effort to this FTP. So this technical team for the dedicated effort in making this FTP for grand success. As we conclude, I sincerely hope that the insight gained during this program will inspire innovation, meaningful research, and excellence in teaching and professional practice. With this, I declare the 6 days FTP program successfully concluded. Hachodi sir, please deliver the address, sir.
Ma'am, VP sir is in line,
Yes,
ma'am.
sir.
We call.
Yes, sir. Sir, VB sir?
Yes, may I audible?
Yes, sir.
Sir,
Yes, sir. Yes,
please.
sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Thank you. Good evening, Rondal.
Yeah.
Good evening, Rondal. Present here.
Yeah. Good evening, sir.
The data
Yes, sir.
science and LLM FDP, I hope the reaching all the faculty members, both external and internal. Ma'am told like more than 150 participation as well as to all over India, not only for the finance colleges, NIT, Anna University has participated. Congratulations. I hope the reaching of content is very much for our expert members. Thanks to all the expert members to conduct the wonderful faculty development program. I thank our guest as well as to today's speaker. It's a wonderful section. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Our management giving a wonderful input to all the faculty members to develop as well as to the next level of education development. So I hope the reaching is very high level. Thanks to CSE department to such a kind of FTP to conducting. I hope the next
Thank you, sir.
FTP, the next FTP is also to the next level in a wonderful subject to reaching out the all over the India. I wish the CSE department. Thanks to coordinators, organizers, convener, the whole team, both internal expert and external expert. Thank you, Nandal. All the best.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, 1 minute, principal sir wants to join. If
Yes, sir. Sir.
Sudharan, sir.
sir,
Are you connect to the principal, sir?
yes, sir. I already told sir he is in travel, sir.
Just to ask, sir. Or otherwise, we
One
want to
second, sir.
proceed.
1 second, sir.
Yeah.
உள்ள வந்துட்டாரா ஃபோன் மேடம் செக் சார் பிரின்சிபல் சார்
Sir, principal, sir.
Hello. Yes, madam. Is my
Yes,
voice
sir.
audible, madam?
Are you
Yeah, actually,
are you-
because
yes,
of
sir.
the net connection is very poor.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah,
Yes, sir. No
the
problem,
program
sir.
is over. Yeah.
Yes,
Sir,
sir.
completed, sir.
Around 150 participants participated, sir. Around 65 institutions, sir,
Okay, very good.
from various states. Yes, sir.
Okay. Very good, madam. It's a great effort. I think the participant they might have received information by attending. I hope. Okay.
Okay.
I really
Yes, sir.
congratulate the coordinator for his effort. Okay. Yeah.
Okay, sir.
Is it
Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
now? Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Taking. So if you want to
Sir, your
Okay, sir.
network is poor, sir. Okay, sir.
Network down, sir. Okay, sir. We will conclude the session, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank
yeah,
you,
please
sir.
continue.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Right. So I'll be in the line. Okay. I'll be in the line only.
Okay,
You
sir.
please continue your other activities. Okay. Correct.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Okay.
Sir, Hachuri, sir, please conclude the session, sir.
Yeah. Thank you, madam. So, good evening to one and all. So, last 6 days, so we gained lot of insights about the various LLM concepts and generative AI concepts and various industry expert members and various top level academicians with the support of very good support from the management side. So top level management side, such chairman office and GM madam and pro VC sir and Dean Academics, Dean Research. So our respected principals sir for wonderful support and vice principals sir and various heads of the department. I thanks to everyone. Uh, so in 6 days, so a lot of effort behind this. So coordinators, Subhania madam, and the tireless effort, and also Subhasri madam, and the technical support by the Mutraj sir, and we all the aspects. So many faculty members will help already helped a lot behind the scenes with for the successful of the FDP. So we once again, and thank you all. If anybody is missing the list, so again, thanks to all those who are missing in the list. So thank you one and all. Thank you for participants at various colleges who participated with our invitation and to successful conduction of this 6 days faculty development program. Hope you are all benefited from these topics. So thank you one and all. Thank you one and all. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so
Thank you,
much, sir.
sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
So, dear participants, kindly fill up your last day of quiz and feedback session. And later, I will send your certificates with the checking of your UPI account number. Okay. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, madam. Thank you.
Gaurav sir, thank you. பாருங்க.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. ரொம்ப thanks, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Sudhakaran sir, thank you so much.
Sir, thank you, Veerasamy, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, madam. Welcome, madam. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.